crossover lines that I switch from one side of the intake to one header and the other side of the intake to the other header. We're going to give it a quick sea trial, and I'm expecting this one hose to blow on the opposite side. We're about to see and find out in the next 20 or 30 minutes. I'm going to dip the boat in and give it another shot. Appreciate you guys coming along with me. Speedboat Maniac 410, at least for today, barely coming at you. Well guys, we're here. We're dipped in the water. I'm tied up. We're ready to fire the motors up here in just a second. Hopefully this GoPro will act right. Anything past, I believe it's 12 minutes, when you batch the GoPro downloads, they can't be longer than 12 or 16 minutes. It's a pain unless you have a certain app on your laptop to do it. That's why we missed all that other footage when we were rain out the other day. So let's see, and hopefully it'll record okay. Appreciate you guys coming along. Let's see what this is going to do. I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to do. We know it's going to fail. It's just a matter of where the fail is going to be. Will the pipe stay hot on this side, or will we blow the line off on the other side? What's y'all's bet? Put your comments down below. I'll get myself situated in a second. Everything looks mint. Let's take a look and see. hose over here is going to fail pretty much within the first 5 or 10 minutes. Now, I'm being optimistic, but remember, guys, I didn't do this to fix the boat. I'm doing it as an experiment to see what will last, how long will last, what's going to stay cool and what's not. So we'll be back in just a moment. So that way the 12 minutes on this camera recording won't peace out on us. not trying to blow this hose off. That hose is going to blow again. Or the hose that I just changed that feeds the header. I mean, it would probably blow off at the header if the header got real hot down at the bottom, but it would most likely get hot where the exhaust heads out and blow that crossover pipe. But like I said, I ain't betting a mortgage on it, but that header is still hot. That one over there is cooler than that one, and the intake port on this one on this side, which was hot the other day, is now cool, and the other one is hot. It's telling me the water can't come out of that. Go in. A lot of you guys have been giving me comments. Light bulbs are going off in my head right now. I'm pretty certain that we got a tailpipe restriction, okay? The two pipes are so close together, it's not letting enough water come out of the pipe, and therefore it's letting more pressure be in the exhaust pipe. I'm gonna have to dimple it. I was told to try dimple it inside where the crossover tube is, knock it in a 1/4 inch, and drill holes in the pipe in the back to let more water out, to get more flow. I could just have a bad pipe. It's funny because we tested it and tested it. We know we don't have any leaks, but if it's not getting water flow through it like a lot, you can't tell with a garden hose in the backyard. You can to an extent, but not in a real world application, being out here on the bay and putting it down to the pin. Guys, I'm excited a little bit because I think we come to our answer. You can't put your hand on this pipe, really. You can't. You can put it on this one. All day long. All day long. Again, not to sound like a parrot over and over. This pipe coming out is cool. This one on this side is warmer and hotter. Causing restriction, not letting the pump water to this side. Well, let's go out, and I don't want to use the term, but let's go out and try to break it. I have the tools and a new piece of hose if I have to change that pipe. I just don't like dumping salt water. So I'm going to go slow enough to where it does. I don't even need to hurt on it, guys. I already know it's going to fail because that's the deal at this point. I don't need to watch that hose blow. I already know it's too hot. I should just take the boat back in right now. We'll see. Let's run it a little bit and look at this water pressure here. See if it jumps around and fluctuates. I'm sure it's gonna, just because I switch sides doesn't mean it's not. But let's see if the water pressure fluctuation changes a little bit. Let's get up on plane. right, guys. I'm not going to run this thing anymore. I'm going to take it on back into the Kent Narrows, close it on out in the yard. I appreciate you guys coming along. Let's close the hatches and just make it back safe. Ain't no sense in blowing this hose off. All right, guys. Speedboat Maniac finishing up the day. We're just heading back, pulling out of the Kent Narrows ramp. Boy, it's a wrangle when you're by yourself, putting the boat in, taking it out, pulling it in. And I got my certain way, which slip I like to use. That's why I like to go out in the middle of the week. It's not that busy, and I can take my time. I don't want to be that person at the boat ramp that's holding everybody up with the small winky with the long boat. You know who they are, you know. But anyway, guys, I think we're on to something. So without talking about it over and over, we can clearly see that switching the lines, that same header got hot and the other one was staying cool. So it's obviously a tailpipe problem with water getting out of that tailpipe. Even though it's welded up, the clearance is in that tailpipe or the header, even though it's a new header. I hate to think of that. We have a water flow issue on that exhaust on that side, period. I'm pretty certain. I'm like 99% sure. So guys, thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And once I learn how to shift this gears on this truck, please subscribe. Turn your notification bell on for any new videos coming your way. Don't forget to comment down below. Tell me what you think about all this. Give me your ideas and what your thoughts are. And don't forget to share the video with a friend, you know. So far, I'm trying the best I can. Holding it all together just a day at a time and not trying to project too much and just staying right where my 2 feet are, but doing the next right thing. That's what I'm trying to do. So, guys, thank you so much for coming along. And again, don't forget to click that like button, make it turn blue, and we'll see you on the next one. Speedboat Maniac 410, trying to come at you, to you and your family. Always, God bless.